All right. Well, good morning, everyone. As Greg said, I'm Lori Schafer, CEO of Digital Wave Technology. First, I want to thank you guys at IHL Group for hosting this webinar and inviting me. I'm really excited to be here. Greg, Jerry, and Lee, thank you for that. And I also want to just give a quick plug to my own team that made this really easy for me while I was traveling this past week. I just got in very late last night. Dan Mitchell, Sarah Meza, Oleg Sidorkin, Arkady Gurovich, and our chairman, Bernie Brennan. You guys are all amazing. Thanks for putting all this legwork together for me. At Digital Wave, we power the core engine of retail, product, and other master data. We give companies the clean fuel they need to run their business and to run AI. Digital Wave One, our AI native data management platform, continually manages and optimizes data and even lets teams modify the data model in real time. Built on this foundation, our MDM, our PIM system, and our merchandising solutions power some of the world's leading retailers and brands. Trusted, clean master data is what we're all about. AI is only as good as the data that fuels it. But over the past 18 months, something fundamental changed. And as the IHL gentlemen were saying, it is happening so fast. I showed this with Dan Mitchell to, I think, Jerry at NRF, and I can say everything has been completely obsoleted since then. Agentic AI doesn't just improve human decisions. It plans, it pursues goals, and it acts on results. But it must have clean data as fuel. And agentic AI also changes how software itself is built. And I'm excited to show you that today. That realization led us to rapidly agentify Digital Wave, our entire business, and create something entirely new, an agentic AI operating system for the enterprise. We call it WaveAgent. For 30 or 40 years, companies have been buying and more enterprise software, ERP, planning, pricing, in-store, supply chain, data lakes, custom integrations, and so on. And every time the business changes, IT has to respond. Evaluating with countless RFPs and selection committees, it is really slow, it's expensive, and it's never ending. But what if your IT team and even your business teams could build the software they need, or with the help of a software consultant, do it rapidly, directly on your enterprise data with high security and user-based access? That is what WaveAgent makes possible. WaveAgent is an agentic AI operating system that sits on your enterprise data. Users describe what they need, and WaveAgent builds real production-ready applications, not prototypes. Systems with business logic, data models, UIs, full audit trails, governance, and full security built in. The platform sits on a data engine. It connects not only to Digital Wave's One platform, but also to popular data lakes, to MDM, to other PIMs, to merchandising and marketing and supply chain and ERP systems, and any other packaged software that your teams use. And it allows both IT teams and business users to quickly create dashboards, full software applications, automations, workflows, and decision intelligence without having to build or buy traditional software. WaveAgent automatically understands the structure of your data, the relationships within it, and it allows you to interact with that data in natural language while building real enterprise software. Think of it this way. Your trusted, clean master data is the fuel, and WaveAgent is the operating system that runs on that fuel, allowing humans and AI to operate the business. Now comes the fun. I want to show you a few real use cases from our customers. WaveAgent built this first tool, and I'm going to start with a very simple example. Retailers and brands oftentimes receive product information from vendors in multiple formats. PDFs of catalogs, spreadsheets, emails, you name it. One item can turn into dozens of SKUs. For example, this moisture wicking branded t-shirt, or even a flavor of soup, can turn into dozens of SKUs for each color, size, flavor, and sometimes even further variations. All of that has to be entered into a PIM or item creation system. This same process happens every single day in thousands of companies around the world, and it's very slow. A retail customer of ours that sells athletic apparel across thousands of schools spent over 40 hours extracting data for 19 items from a vendor PDF catalog. Over 40 hours for 19 items.
Wow.
They rekeyed it into Excel, and then they loaded it into their PIM for item create. Once expanded by colors, sizes, schools, and designs, those 19 items became over 3,600 SKUs in their system. That's what took all the time. So over 40 hours, one person, 1 week to enter that data. But with WaveAgent, we built them a very quick enterprise application that reads PDF files. In this case, it reads their digital catalogs from all of their vendors. What you can do then is import that PDF file. It reads the catalog. It extracts that data. In this case, this is running live. It's a 72-page catalog, so it's going to take a little bit of time. But relative to the 40 hours it took before, you'll be able to see it on screen live. And it should take about a minute, and then you should see all of the cleaned data, and it will literally roll out into the 3,600 and some odd SKUs.
Wow.
And we're just about done. And we'll see that in just a second. Here we go. Drum roll, please.
Pretty zippy.
There we go. So now we have a review screen. And I'm just going to show you on another slide the review screen. And what this allows you to do now is to manually review. Humans want to review it themselves to make sure that all of the data is right. Does it fit the format that's needed? And it goes in, and you're able to now see all of the 3,700 SKUs across all of the different schools, all of the different colors, all of the different sizes, all of the pricing, and so on. You can also go back and you can view, in addition to the detailed SKUs, in a second I'll show you how to view the actual source catalog, just to make sure everything matches. What used to take 5 days now takes 5 minutes. And it adapts for various types of digital catalogs. It's not hard-coded. And this isn't a prototype. It's running today, and customers absolutely love it. And building the system itself, with WaveAgent, it took 2 hours.
Wow.
So that's one example. Let me move on to another example. I call this building enterprise software in a weekend. This is really unbelievable. During customer implementation we recently had, we discovered that the retailer wanted a very specialized merchandise planning application. Despite buying packaged software, they insisted on a very precise look and feel of the user interface and workflow. And even with our highly configurable software, we couldn't handle it without significant changes. Our R&D estimate for developers for 3 months, or in effect, 1 full year of effort to make the modifications they needed. Instead, one of our team members opened WaveAgent on a Friday night after feeding it a detailed specification and started automatically writing the code on the customer's Digital Wave 1 platform. And WaveAgent even did the QA, although we also let humans do the QA as well. And I'll just quickly walk you through a little bit of this application as I'm speaking. It starts with financial planning. And you can see they wanted a very precise user interface. We got it down to every single look and feel of every keystroke they wanted. And again, Friday evening and by Saturday morning, our customer-facing team was already testing it.
Wow.
They then iterated for 5 evenings, Monday through Friday of the following week. And after a week, they passed it to the customer for user acceptance testing. The customer, again, was thrilled. This took less than a week to do, and that's no exaggeration.
Wow.
That is the power of the WaveAgent AI operating system connected to real-time secure product master data.
That's impressive.
And lastly, I'll show you one last example. We like to call it Control Tower. And this to me is one of the most exciting parts of WaveAgent. What Control Tower allows you to do is it delivers real-time insights and recommendation actions far beyond what humans can process across all variables. Imagine starting your morning with a live dashboard that can process everything across your enterprise that you have access to. Your sales, your margin, your inventory, your ability to immediately course correct with this real data. WaveAgent can also connect to your email, your Teams chats, your Slack, your product data, your supply chain data, your ERP. WaveAgent analyzes everything in real time. And instead of static reports, it tells you what matters most for you to do today and the required actions. A merchandiser sees product issues, a supply chain leader sees inventory risk, a CFO sees the financial plan and can check cash flow, and a CEO sees the highest priorities across the entire company. Really amazing stuff. The impact of WaveAgent is clear. Organizations can now build and evolve software at the speed of their business. What once required months of development, expensive integrations, and complex BI tools can now be done in hours and days. We consistently see between a 10x and a 500x speed improvement and productivity improvements. And that means something profound for the future of enterprise software. Companies will buy fewer rigid systems and instead move to flexible enterprise data schemas and build more of the software that makes them unique. For decades, we built software the slow way. Agentic AI systems like WaveAgent changed that. Now companies can think of a need for software and build it in days on their own data or in concert with a domain expert consultant. We're at the dawn of an agentic AI era, not AI that answers questions, but AI that acts, AI that builds, AI that runs major portions of your business. The enterprises that embrace this shift now won't just be faster and more efficient, they will be fundamentally different.